sacks this year for Micah Parsons. Wilson again reaches for the goal line. Packers make him pay. 3 double-digit sacks, 5 straight seasons to start his career. Rashawn Gary gets there this time and forces an interception. Gary got his hand on it, and Isaiah McDuffie picked it off. McCarthy down the seam and too tall and picked off. Second interception for the Packers the last 2 drives. Evan Williams, second week in a row. He's got one. Parsons getting a running start from linebacker. He's picked up this time. Gary able to get there. Couldn't get him down, though. Now McCarthy takes another sack. Devontae Wyatt, second of the game. He's doubled his season total, and the Pack has picked up 5 of them.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Now live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Lattis.
And that's how it's supposed to go. Green Bay Packers get the victory yesterday, 23-6 over the Vikings. A lot of things went their way. Played a little complimentary football. Offense, defense, we-fence coming up. I can't believe they still call it we-fence.
You don't have to do that.
When Matt LaFleur said that when he was handing out the game balls, I was like, oh, we're still doing this, huh? Okay, we-fence. Offense, defense, we-fence all come into play on Sunday at Lambeau Field. You stop the bleeding with the losses at home. Needed that. You beat a division opponent, needed that. You start this stretch of all NFC North opponents for the next few weeks, and it felt like a huge sigh of relief that the team could play this way. And I got to say, Gabe, we'll get to a lot of things this morning. I really appreciated how the depth was on display yesterday, right? You had some guys out, you had some injuries. Josh Jacobs is out, Quay Walker is out, and the guys who stepped in did an excellent job of getting it done out there, producing for the home team.
Speaking of beating divisional rivals, do you ever think that you were just a year early? Because on the Bold-a-thon, not this year, but the previous year, you said what on the Bold-a-thon?
That they would go undefeated in the division.
And unfortunately, that's not the way it played out last
not
year.
Not even a little bit.
Maybe you were just a year early.
I didn't even think about that.
Maybe you were just early.
Never wrong, just early.
Yeah.
I mean, the irony of me, Jen,
being early
to anything is not lost on me.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
About it.
I'm just saying, hey, we're trending in the right direction right now. 2-0 in the division. Already more wins in the division this year than they had all of last year.
Gosh, and it's crazy that in the next few weeks, that could be 4-0 if they take care of business, obviously. Lots of stuff to get to today, but let's start with this, Gabe. Your reaction to a 23-6 win over the Vikings. I want to put it all in context. The Vikings are no good. J.J. McCarthy is historically bad.
Specifically, it's J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
The rest of that roster's not bad.
That's what's crazy is you would think that much like Matt LaFleur at times has had to curtail and change and adapt and adjust to his quarterback challenges, you would think that a guy like Kevin O'Connell would be able to figure it out even with Mike McCarthy being as bad as he is. Nope. Sure didn't.
You said Mike McCarthy.
You know what? I knew that was going to happen. I knew when I was watching the game yesterday, J.J. McCarthy. When I was watching the game yesterday, I kept hearing McCarthy, 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 McCarthy. I was like, Mike, Big Mike. Oh, Mike. And I was like, no. Come on. Yes, J.J. McCarthy. Do you want to know what's crazy, guys? I was doing College Football Live on Friday, and they got in my ear, and they said we have a minute left. And by the way, the show is over. So now I have to just fill for a minute. It's great. I'm teeing up game day the next day, and I look over at Stanford Steve, who's sitting to my left, and I go, you think the Ducks get it done, Pete?
Pete?
He goes,
you called him Pete?
Well, Thamel was sitting on my right, but still. Look at him dead in the eye. And then I get done with the show, and they go, Pete? I said, what? He goes, you called Steve Pete. I go, what? So, Steve, Pete, Mike McCarthy, J.J. McCarthy.
Listen,
right I am too, man. I'm telling you. I got to start taking more ginger ginkgo or whatever that stuff is.
If Stanford Steve and Pete Thamel looked a little alike, I'd give you a pass. But they don't look alike at all.
And I was looking him dead in the eye.
Honestly, that would be if you looked at me today and said, Chew, what do you think?
Exactly.
Like, that's how different those two look.
Look, it's coming, okay? Just be prepared for that. What was your reaction to the big win yesterday?
So nice just to be able to get out to a lead. Like when you trade for Micah Parsons, this is the dream. Where you have a big enough lead where it's at 2 scores. Yeah, I'm sure there are some people that wish that the Packers got a little more aggressive offensively, but you're up by 10 points, then it's 13 points, then it's 14, then it's 14 points, then it's 17 points. You were able to build the lead up slowly but surely and force J.J. McCarthy to have to throw the football. And you allowed the pass rushers to pin their ears back. I mean, LaFleur said it during his postgame press conference. Can't remember the last time that they were in a game where those pass rushers could just absolutely pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. And that's what they have to get to. I know it's football 101. You get to that more often, and that's the most dominant form of this team. Get off to faster starts. So I'd love to see them, like they won the coin toss yesterday. They decided to defer. I would love for them instead to just take the football. Take the football right away because LaFleur continues to complain after games about, man, limited possessions in that first half. Well, see if you can kind of jumpstart your team, get off to those faster starts on offense, and maybe that triggers a little bit more of that pass rush in the first half as well. But if they can get to games like this, the defense is going to close it out.
I think they like the defense being able to set the tone. I think that that's part of the reason why they do that. And then again, the offense did respond and go down and score in the first quarter. Doesn't it feel like it's been a while since they scored on their first drive?
Yeah, it has been. I mean, they've played well enough in the first halves. Because like last week, they had 13 points in the first half. But yeah, that first drive, they've just constantly been coming up empty for whatever reason.
Micah Parsons and Devontae Wyatt, 2 sacks apiece. Isaiah McDuffie with an interception and a half sack. Evan Williams with the other interception, his second in 2 games. And team leading third on the sack, that according to Packers.com. I think we need to focus on the defense to start. Because I think the defense and the way that they played, as you were just saying, is probably what set the tone for the day. And I will say this also, guys. Like, we have talked in the past about this version of the Packers playing down to their competition, right? They play crappy teams. Guess what? They play crappy. The Vikings, as you mentioned, J.J. McCarthy, not good. And there was a chance, there was a thought for me for a moment, like, please do not play down to your competition. Please do not play on the same level of this team and then just eke out a win. That was a big relief that the defense just shut them down, and then they stepped on the throat as the game went on.
Yeah, and look, that special teams turnover kind of flipped everything because the blueprint to try to beat the Packers is out there. And we've seen teams successfully do it, like the Carolina Panthers. We've seen teams, not be able to close it out the way the Giants were unable to 2 weeks ago against the Packers, but run the football, shorten the possession, muck it up. And the Vikings were doing that successfully in the first half. Yeah, they only had 6 points. But Jordan Mason, 8 carries, 42 yards. Aaron Jones, 9 carries, 41 yards. You got to be better than that against the run because we didn't get to see bad J.J. McCarthy until that lead was built. Like J.J. I'm not trying to say he was great, but they were able to hide a lot of the deficiencies because I think he threw the ball 7 times in the first half. 5 of them were off play action. And that's going to be a guy like that's going to be his best friend. So against the Detroit Lions, coming up on Thursday, where Jahmyr Gibbs just ran absolutely wild all over the Giants all Sunday long to the tune of 200 yards, you're going to have to be better against the run against Jahmyr Gibbs. Otherwise, the Lions, they got no problem just running the ball. And then you're finding yourself in those shorter possession games where everything just feels like every possession is gold and you have to value every one of them. So that's those turnovers is what kind of turned this thing around for the Packers to be able to be as dominant as they were in the second half on defense.
We will continue breaking down the game. You just mentioned the defense. Obviously, we need to talk about the offensive line and the way that they blocked for Emmanuel Wilson yesterday, who was the offensive star of the game. Emmanuel Wilson goes up over 100 yards yesterday, 28 carries, season high for any Packers running back. And I believe I saw something like best outing as far as like debut goes when he was starting yesterday, and that was obviously a big deal for him. But I think it was since Sam Congato. Best starting debut since Sam Congato for a running back for Green Bay.
Yeah.
What's happening here? You're giving pause? You were not impressed with Emmanuel Wilson yesterday?
It was as good as it needed to be. I don't think it was star-spangled awesome.
I feel like that's how the whole game was, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, maybe the defense was a little bit, above average. But wasn't the whole game sort of like that? I mean, Jordan's numbers weren't eye-popping by any means either, but he was as good as he needed to be.
They took the air out of the football. But, I mean, how many times have we heard Chewy that 4 yards a carry is the minimum?
I think it was 3.8, if I'm being not mistaken.
And that's where Emmanuel Wilson was.
Yeah, I mean, how much of that was tanked by those last 3 drives?
Yeah.
Because they went into, we're going to run it, and we're going to run it, and we're not even going to be real creative about running it.
LaFleur literally said he called the same play 7 times in a row.
We're coming straight at you. It's going to be in the B gap, and you're going to have to figure out how to stop it. Because we have they knew so I thought he was good. It was, the first touchdown was impressive. A guy met him right in the hole, and he went right through him. He looked to me like Josh Jacobs has looked much of the year. Pretty good. Fine. You can work with it.
Yeah, so that's why, I think it was probably more Emmanuel than the offensive line. I don't think the offensive line was suddenly better than they've been all year.
There was one difference that we saw.
Eventually.
And that's Anthony Belton at right guard moving bodies. I don't know why that wasn't the move earlier. Clearly, they've got a guard they want to be tackling Anthony Belton and a guard that needs to be a tackle in Jordan Morgan. And they had that wrong, and now they corrected that, and it seems like that's going to be the move forward.
Well, I guess we got to wait and see.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have to leave the door open to the possibility that Jordan Morgan's back out there starting against the Detroit Lions on Thursday. Unless we get somebody to say something else differently leading into that game. That's still a possibility. So the offensive line, I still think, has room for improvement. Maybe the Anthony Belton thing will help them out as it goes. But, yeah, I mean, it was very obvious that LaFleur recognized in that second half that, that guy, he's got no chance of beating us on the other sideline. So we're not going to, like we did against Cleveland, give them an opportunity with some sort of stupid turnover. We're just going to take the ear out of the football. We're going to take our points when we get them, and we're going to let our defense eat.
I think that they didn't have to overthink it. I think they recognized that the Vikings were a vastly inferior opponent. I think they were okay with having some of these guys get right. Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, who was out as well. And I think they said, we're not going to overthink this thing. We can win with ease, again, sticking to the game plan that they did yesterday, even though I know, Josh, you wish that they still would have thrown it a little bit more. Jordan Love is obviously still hurt, even though he said that it's not bothering him, it's not affecting him. How could it not?
He didn't use his left hand.
It's a little fib.
How could it not?
Just a little stretching the truth there.
And so I think that they did a really good job of just playing within themselves, not overthinking it, not overdoing it, but enough to get the win, build some confidence going into this stretch, continuing this stretch against division opponents. Joshy.
Yeah, the thing I'm concerned about, and I understand we're protecting Jordan Love. We're also doing we've got a bunch of guys out. We know we can. J.J. McCarthy is horrific. We can kind of win this game any way we want. But to me, the lesson that became very obvious is getting out to a lead and forcing teams to throw the ball against you is going to be how you need to win football games. And I don't know if Matt LaFleur took that lesson away. It seemed like from the get-go, they wanted to run the ball a ton, and they wanted to keep running it. And maybe that was to protect Jordan Love to a degree.
Well, I think that is, because the Vikings do like to have those muddled fronts where they've got 5 or 6 guys along the line of scrimmage. And you can't trust your
offensive line.
Correct. So now you've got a quarterback playing with a separated shoulder that's bothering him to the point where he can't hand off with his left hand.
Yes.
Where the NFL Network is saying, well, if it was his right shoulder, there's no chance he would play. I understand.
Dumb. Just slide, man.
I understand.
You don't need to be. It's so easy to not be dealing with this injury.
Sometimes you got to learn this one the hard way, and he decided that he needed to learn it the hard way.
But I'm worried that the lesson is not going to be learned to the degree where there's a similar approach against the Lions, and then we're in a runoff, and they're going to do it better than us, and that's what I'm afraid of. And I'm afraid of that lesson isn't going, because they tried to do it against the Eagles and it didn't work. And I'm worried that the lesson learned is not going to be the right lesson.
Well, Gabe did mention this morning on our production call, the league is so tight, right? There's so much parity, especially this year in the league. What were you saying about the way that the Lions game went down that hopefully works in the Packers' advantage when they face off this week?
Having that game go to overtime, like the Packers game, what was it over by 2:30 yesterday? I mean, it felt like it was over quick. It was the fastest game. Well, when you run the ball 42 times.
You always know when they cut over to extra coverage, it's in the middle of the fourth quarter. You're like,
usually the extra coverage is like the final minute of a game. Like, oh, well, we got to do something before we send it back to the boys in the studio. But it was the entire fourth quarter for the extra game yesterday. But the Packers being done that early, and then the Lions having to go into overtime. When you have to play on Thanksgiving, especially that early game, It's just a little thing. But you're trying to get as fresh as you humanly possibly can be going into that game. And there's a little bit of an advantage there for the Packers. The fact that that team had to play extra snaps, especially defensively, now trying to get your body right, that's an advantage, albeit a very small one, but that is an advantage for the Packers. And
also add to that, you got your offense off the field towards the end when the game was, and it wasn't a ton of snaps, but it was, that's less hits. Mm-hmm. That's less hits guys are taking. Look at how many plays the Vikings ran on offense as well. Your defense is going to be as fresh as humanly possible coming off a game. Like, they barely were on the field, which has been the opposite case for the Packers defense in recent weeks. They're on the field for tons of long drives. And I mean, the Vikings were 3-0. It was, I mean, that quarterback's hopeless. That was bad.
You think Nine's not going to show back up?
I think
Nine's not just going to show up and start slinging the ball all over the field.
Okay, but you have to explain that. Before we go to break, you have to explain what you mean, because y'all were talking about that this morning, and I was like, who the hell is 9? Now, I understand that J.J. McCarthy wears number 9, but then you were telling me about this whole nickname, alter ego, and I was like...
So J.J. McCarthy's been bad this year, but there have been a couple of fourth quarters where he has played well. So he was asked about, well, what is it about the fourth quarter that kind of brings this out of you? And his answer, I'm paraphrasing here, was he goes into his alter ego, and that alter ego's name is 9. And 9 just comes out and, is able to go into mode and win football games and things of that nature.
He becomes a running back is basically what 9 means.
Which, frankly, is what he's always been.
Uh-huh.
He's cosplaying as a quarterback.
I mean,
when they showed that shot of him throwing to the left and his body looked like an X, did you guys see that?
Yeah.
They did a stop. What do they call it? They paused the video, and he looked like a big old X. His legs were wide open. He's got his arm up there. And I was like, this is your guy? This is your king? Okay, Vikings. Good luck with that. That was a little joke there with the king and the Vikings and, the nickname that people sometimes use for the Vikings.
By the way, that skull chant they did, the defense, awesome.
Oh, I was about to say.
Awesome. Great trolling.
Oh, you're talking about the celebration?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was...
The stadium joined in quick. They were ready to go.
They picked it up real fast. Wow, I wonder what they're doing. Oh, nope. They were ready for it. It's almost like somehow Evan Williams didn't just tell his teammates, let 80,000 people know.
800-990-3776. Your reaction to the Packers' victory yesterday, 23-6 over the Vikings. It starts this stretch of NFC North opponents. With the victory, it stops the bleeding at home. Of course, they had lost 2 straight games at home, so that ends that. And you build some momentum as you continue in the regular season. Gabe?
It is a Victory Monday, and it's brought to you by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, with delicious brands like Palermo's, Conning's Urban Pie, and Screamin' Sicilian. Palermo's has your game day covered. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer. Victory Monday also brought to you by National Liquor Mart on 16th and National in Milwaukee. Stock up with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 to 9 daily. Your game day headquarters all season long. And Victory Monday is brought to you by Callan. From kitchen to bathroom remodels to Infinity by Marvin Fiberglass Replacement Windows, Callan makes your home feel like a win. Request your consultation today. Call Callan.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Looks like we've got a bit of a backup on westbound 94 from about 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. The eastbound side starting to slow down from 84th Street to Hawley. Northbound on 41's got a bit of a backup from Mayfair Road all the way up to Burleigh. The rest of the system is still looking pretty good. I'm only seeing a couple of broken down vehicles here and there. Nothing in your way as far as traffic is concerned, so we're in good shape. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, afternoon drizzle with a high of 50 tonight. Chance of rain or drizzle, patchy fog, a low of 43. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for a fun and meaningful way to kick off the holiday season? Join us for the 20th anniversary of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, Saturday, December 13th at the Kasmeric Center in Grafton. This free, family-friendly event is a celebration of giving. Bring a new, unwrapped toy and help brighten the holidays for children and families in need across Wisconsin. To learn more or get involved, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com and join us on December 13th in Grafton.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Penalty flags? Not here. Carbless is the clean play that every football fan can agree on. With zero sugar, zero carbs, and just 100 calories, you get all the flavor without the penalty. Whether you're tailgating outside the stadium, hosting a crew at home, or watching solo in your lucky jersey, Carbless brings premium cocktails right into the huddle. Made to be refreshingly delicious and game day ready, Carbless keeps fans cheering from kickoff to the final whistle. So this season, skip the sugar, skip the carbs, and make the winning call. Find your bliss with Carbless.
Hey guys, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to give you some advice. If you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center has to be your stop for the ring. It's what I did. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. I didn't know what to get, but with help of a Pinterest board, the Jewelry Center and their team of specialists took care of everything from start to finish. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for, when it comes to an engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Find locations and inventory online at shoptjc.com.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can answer the question.
What's the question?
Can the Packers win without Aaron Jones on Sunday?
Yes. Will you stop? You know what he is? He's like the little devil on the shoulder.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Feeling your best starts with time for yourself. And for me, that's my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. Sits right down there in my basement. I can step into it whenever I want. The gentle, radiant heat helps detox my body, boost circulation, and melt away my stress after a long day. I've had mine for years now and still use it constantly. It's amazing for my skin, my sleep, and my overall mood. You can experience it as well. Stop by the Good Health Saunas showroom in Waukesha or learn more at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
I think every game's a little bit different. I think, each defense is a little bit different. But, yeah, I just, to be able to call as many runs as we did, I think that shows the confidence that we had in our line. I thought our line was doing a pretty good job for the most part, and it's never going to be perfect. But I thought just we did what we had to do to win the football game.
Packers get a big victory over the Vikings at Lambeau Field, 23-6 the final. And, of course, as we've mentioned, they start this stretch where they take on all of these NFC North opponents, but a real good opportunity to put themselves in a great spot for the postseason, snapping a 2-game home losing streak. Haven't lost 3 straight home games since 2017. Let's go out to the phone lines, 800-990-3776. If you want to weigh in your thoughts on the Packers' victory, let's start today with Mo in Illinois. Mo, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Your thoughts on the big win?
Hey, guys. Good morning. I thought it was a great win. I was never really surprised, honestly, all week long. I didn't see a scenario in which this inconsistent Packers team would lose to J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. So I'm very pleased with the defensive line overall, with the pressure they were able to generate. I thought the offensive line played well. Sean Ryan at center has been a blessing in disguise. He is moving bodies. Now, I know he's had some rough snaps, but I love watching the O-lineman play because I played O-line, and Sean Ryan is moving bodies. Belton came in and moved bodies, so that was awesome. But the one thing I will say And our buddy Chewy has always said it, to never get too high, never get too low. And I think this is a great instance where we shouldn't get too high. J.J. McCarthy is a terrible, putrid quarterback. And I think the real test will come Thursday, because if you look at last week against the Giants, they were missing one of their top rushers in Kayvon Thibodeau. This week, the Vikings were missing Jonathan Grenard, their top pass rusher. This week against the Lions, that defensive line is ferocious. And I'm very interested to see how this Packers offensive line plays against them, because I'll tell you, they have Aleem McNeil back, their star defensive tackle, who didn't play week 1. And obviously we know who Aiden Hutchinson is. So I think if the Packers could not beat themselves, and if they could play consistent complementary football like the way they did yesterday, I think it's going to be a fun Thanksgiving for all of us.
Appreciate the call, Mo. Do you agree that the offensive line and the moves that they have made, Gabe, seem to be at least holding up better than they were early in the season?
I think it was hard to get worse than what we saw at Elton Jenkins.
Nowhere to go but up.
So, yeah, I think Sean Ryan certainly has been better there. As we discussed, but as Joshie and I said, we'll see if Belton stays there. I have no idea. We'll have to see how that plays out throughout the course of the week. I do still think, even though if you are concerned about Jordan Morgan, I would say at this point, don't be. Brian Bulaga, who obviously joins Homer on Tuesday or on Mondays and Thursdays and does Green Bay Game Day. He was actually up there yesterday with us doing pregame for the home, usually does the road games. But he has said on multiple occasions, as good of a tackle as he was, he could not play guard. Like, things are just happening too quickly for him. He's a guy that likes to be out on the edge, be in space. He's fine being on an island. So just because Jordan Morgan is struggling at guard, don't be scared about him playing tackle next year. I still think that's the plan, and he played well at tackle during the preseason when he had those opportunities. And honestly, it kind of, if Belton plays right guard, it gives him a little bit more depth on that outside, because I think Morgan's a better replacement at left tackle than Kennard would be in the way he's coming in. As for the Lions' pass rush, I think they're living a bit off their reputation right now. Aiden Hutchinson's having a fine season. He's got 8.5 sacks right now, but you would have thought that they would have been able to feast yesterday, and they did not. Jameis Winston had the full Jameis, by the way, yesterday. It was the full Jameis experience, catching a touchdown, throwing a couple, throwing a pick. But he threw for 366 yards on 18 completions. Like, when Jameis is in the game, he holds onto the football, looking to throw it down the field. He got sacked one time. Jameis Winston got sacked one time yesterday. Yeah, I mean, you have to play well as an offensive line with that unit. The Lions' defensive unit is not playing as well as their reputation suggests, at least at this point.
Let's go back out to the phone lines, 800-990-3776. Jason in Hales Corner, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Your thoughts on a victory Monday here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. Love you guys. I was actually at the game, and what a game. I mean, to get Emmanuel Wilson over the century mark with that game plan was absolutely outstanding. Wish he would have thrown the ball a little bit more, but, Matt LaFleur, for whatever people have to say about how bad he is, whatever it is, they had a game plan. They stuck to it, and I think Gabe can vouch for that. I think Emmanuel Wilson had, 125 yards or so?
I think he finished with
now we're going into Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you factor in the 18. I think he's talking about the 18 that he had receiving
yards as well.
So
right,
total yards offense, he was in the 120s.
One last thing, guys, is that great job on our defense. Oh my gosh, when I saw Micah Parsons get that sack, I almost went insane. I was like, I got to see my guy right there, having my Micah Parsons jersey on and watching him get 2 sacks. You can't. Oh my gosh, it was like watching Reggie White again. It was just so amazing to see that. I hope they bring that fire again on Thursday at Thanksgiving, so we can really have a celebratory Thanksgiving. A Packers win, eat the turkey leg, and let's get another W for the green and gold. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Micah Parsons is the first Packer with a 10-sack season since Zadarius Smith in 2020. I saw another stat. Second player since sacks became an official stat in 1982 to have at least 10 sacks in each of his first 5 seasons of his career. Reggie White, I think, as people have mentioned,
he's
is
on
the other
on
one.
pace to smash his career high too which is only 14.
Which is funny because you would think, man, a player like Micah Parsons, man, he has that many sacks. Pro Defensive Player of the Year. No, he's got no chance.
Yeah, I mean,
0%
Myles
chance.
Garrett might break the record.
If he doesn't at this point, I'll be shocked. Dude's got 13 sacks in the last month. It's unbelievable what Myles Garrett is doing. But what I like about Micah Parsons is yesterday in the locker room afterwards, he talked about how a player of his status is, hey, 10 sacks, that's the expectation. 10 sacks for him is like 1,000 yards for a wide receiver. Said him and CeeDee Lamb used to go back and forth when he was in Dallas. Like, yeah, when you're a player, this is what you're expected to do. So, yeah, 10 sacks for him is the bare minimum. So it's not, I got my 10 sacks. Yeah, I've had a good season. No, he's looking to do more and understands that more is expected of him. I love the way he talked about it in the locker room after.
I don't think it was intentional, but boy, was that a shot at Rashawn Gary.
Oh, you think?
I don't think he meant it that way, but that's all I thought about.
Well, because there's no way that he knows.
No.
That Rashawn's never had a 10-sack season, and that's been a talking point of Packer fans when it comes to Rashawn Gary specifically. So, yeah, when you're making the money that Rashawn is, and you've never had a double-digit sack season, and you got the other guy going, yeah, this is the bare minimum. When you get paid and you have the expectations like me, 10 sacks is the bare minimum. Oh, have a little conversation with your boy Rashawn.
800-990-3776. Reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line as well. Speaking of Parsons, Matthew in the 262 says, did you guys see him destroy the center yesterday? The way he is timing it up sometimes is absolutely crazy.
And then he got held by the guard after he blew up the center.
Which should have been a safety.
So it should have been a safety, but instead that was that the sack that was one of the two sacks that Wyatt had. Yeah. So he blew up took up a couple of bodies on the inside, and whew. Man, imagine that. Like, Kelly's one of the better centers in the league, too, just coming off an injury and then just gets blown
I mean, he ate Darisal's lunch, who's one of the best left tackles in all of football. And then he went out with an injury later, but it felt like his pride was as hurt as his ankle was.
And then they showed it on the highlight, and Greg Olsen, kind of circled it. When he got triple teamed, after he's just destroying the game plan, and they just throw 3 bodies at him. Yeah. And then I was mad at everybody else because literally everybody else had a one-on-one and nobody could win. Nobody won. Rashawn.
I mean, they're sliding protection to the side with less people regularly because Micah Parsons is drawing that much attention.
Reaction rolling
so nice
in.
To have that weapon.
Reaction continuing to roll in, guys. A win over the Vikings is great, says Don in the 262. Finding a better run blocking lineup is a positive. Still needs improvement. The run game, the pass game, and receivers not named Watson. We will talk about Christian Watson as the show rolls on as well. Want to get to another caller here before we take a break. Jim in Saukville, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Your thoughts on the 23-6 win yesterday?
Well, good morning. 2 quick comments. One is, all rushing yards are not created equal, and there's nothing to me more beautiful than at the end of the game when the other team knows you're going to run the ball and you're still able to pick up the first down. The second thing is I just don't like the phrase playing down to your competition because it sounds euphemistic for not playing your hardest all the time, not giving full effort. I just think, say what it is. I just don't like that phrase, Jen.
Jim, I think the phrase is basically thinking that you don't need. I got to kill. I can hear it on the back. I got to drop him. I can hear myself in my ear. I think the phrase is saying that we know we're a better opponent, so you go in sort of 50%, 75%. You don't have to go full bore 100%. And then that comes back to bite you in the ass. I think that's when you say you play down to your competition, what's happening. It's more of a mental thing than anything else.
I also think it's an approach to a game plan style. I also think sometimes it can be a euphemism for not that good. And I'm not saying that specifically in this instance, but a lot of times that's what it seems like. You beat up on the bad teams and then you play competition more. It's just what it is.
But also, especially this year in the NFL, I feel like the margins are so thin. I think there have been times that I guarantee you there are some Packer fans against the Giants thinking, oh, Packers played down to their competition. What are they doing? Well, the Giants just went on the road against the team that you're about to play that I think a lot of Packer fans have respect for in the Lions, and they took them to overtime. Did the Lions play down to their competition yesterday too? Or are the Giants a little bit better than maybe we thought, and they just can't make the winning plays when they need to at the end of games and down stretches?
Yeah, but I think it's probably more like the Cleveland game. It's that type of thing. When you're so vastly better than an opponent and all of a sudden you just don't show up. I think it is, as Joshy said, it's an approach. It's kind of like, we've all been there, right? Do I need to go 100% effort on this rep? And then you maybe don't, and then you find out that you should have. I don't think that it is problematic right now. I don't think that it is. I think yesterday was a great example of the Packers being able to say, we're better than this team. We're not going to go full bore, right? You guys have talked about how Matt LaFleur didn't air it out frequently in the game. They were going to run the ball. That was the game plan, and still win the game. I think that playing down to your competition is absolutely a reality in sports. Yeah. And it comes back to a complacency, and it comes back to we don't need to give 100% effort in order to win, and then sometimes you have a rude awakening.
Yeah, I think that happens from time to time. I do think that's one of those things fans love to lean on if your team doesn't play well either. Because sometimes your team just doesn't play well.
But it has to be habitual in order for you to be able to go to it.
Oh, 100%.
It can't just be one time and you go,
100%.
oh, this team always plays down to their competition.
100%.
Well, I think you're right, though, that the league, there is a lot of parity. And you remember, we all talked about the boost that the Giants were going to get from firing their coach, right? All of a sudden, it's serious. All of a sudden, guys are like, oh.
Yeah, but usually that lasts 1 week. It's like a 1 week boost. Man, if you didn't watch any of that game, and I understand if you didn't because it was on at the same time the Packers game, Jameis was fun yesterday.
Jameis is always fun.
He is the ultimate quarterback if your team is bad. Like, he's just going to give you a good time on a Sunday. He's just going to give you, he is going to give you a good time.
On the way to the end zone after catching the ball.
It was the play of the year. I mean, that might have been the play of the year. Him catching that, breaking tackles, and scoring.
Shouldn't they have won that game? Like, didn't Kafka do a weird situation where he punted the ball back?
No, so what basically ended up happening, so late in the game, they had a 4th and goal from inside the 5. They were up by 3. They decided to go for it.
Oh.
Did not go for it. Or did not get it. Gave it back to the Lions, and the Lions were able to go down and kick the game-tying field goal to send it to overtime. Whereas if he would have just kicked the field goal, chances are they would have had to score a touchdown to win in regulation. Yeah. They'd probably get the stop.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to, including Christian Watson. Is he your number 1 wide receiver? We'll discuss as Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on.
Coming up on Friday, you want to take advantage of a great Black Friday promotion with my friends at X Golf inside American Family Field. Look, I understand, as somebody who loves golf, sometimes we're hard to shop for in the holidays, but you know what's great? A gift card to X Golf inside American Family Field. Sim time, always great for everybody, but also those gift cards good for everything else they have going on inside X Golf and American Family Field. And their Black Friday promotion starts this Friday, runs through the 30th, where you get 20% off your gift card purchase with a maximum of $300. Think about that. A great gift card purchase, great sim time. Could be whoever you're getting the card for could be working on their golf game throughout the course of the summer. So take advantage and head over to X Golf at American Family Field this Black Friday through November 30th and get 20% off of your gift card purchase with a maximum of $300.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Slow down a little bit more. Westbound 94 from 27th Street all the way past Hawley Road. Eastbound's tightening up a bit from 84th Street to Hawley. Northbound on 41, we've got some backups from Mayfair Road all the way up to Burleigh. Southbound has some minor delays right past Silver Spring. Things starting to bunch up a little bit on the bypass east-west, but nothing major to slow you down just yet. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Increasing clouds, afternoon drizzle with a high of 50. Tonight, chance of rain or drizzle, patchy fog, a low of 43. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Feel better, recover faster, and relax deeper, all from home. Infrared saunas from Good Health Saunas use safe, radiant heat that warms your body from the inside out, helping flush toxins, improve circulation, and melt away your stress. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. I've had my Good Health Sauna for a few years now, and I use it almost every day. My skin's clearer, I sleep better, and I feel amazing. Stop by the Good Health Sauna showroom in Waukesha to see the models in person, or visit goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Welcome to Jackpot Land. This fall at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all fall to win your share of thousands in prizes each month. And earn entries into the big December Jackpot Land prize drawings. Your October, November, and December entries all count. Win thousands in cash or reward play. Welcome to Jackpot Land. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
Steinhaffel's biggest Black Friday sale is happening now. Save 10% store-wide and get $50 instant cash back for every $4.99 you spend. Plus, get a $200 MasterCard rewards card when you use your Steinhaffel's credit card. And get amazing doorbusters like recliners at $229 and sofas just $299. Plus, buy a premium mattress and get free premier delivery on everything. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's early Black Friday deals have arrived, in-store and online while supplies last. Right now, shop early Black Friday-like savings store-wide on the things you need and the brands you love. Like up to 40% off men's and women's Columbia outerwear. Select men's and women's Carhartt graphic sweatshirts, $39.99. $40 off DeWalt 20-volt atomic drill or impact driver kits. And 26-piece Rubbermaid food storage sets, just $12.99. Don't miss early Black Friday deals in-store and online only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
In the Midwest, we know the real deal on the field and in your wellness routine. Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan offers top-tier Michigan-grown CBD products, no shortcuts, no synthetic knockoffs. Just clean, green certified, organically grown CBD crafted for fans who expect the best. Whether you're gearing up for the game or winding down after a win, swing through Higher Love just across the Wisconsin border and experience the highest quality CBD in the Midwest. Higher Love, the real deal, no limitation. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of sodas now that are prebiotic sodas.
They don't work. They're called poop. No, they're really called poop, I think. You buy them on Amazon.
I thought you were going to stop talking.
You got a lot of rust in you. You know that?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Stranger Things fans, fuel up for one last adventure. Now at Piggly Wiggly, your favorite Stranger Things Surfer Boy frozen pizzas are just $5.99 today through the 30th. And it's just in time for Season 5's drop later this week. So stock up and save. Stranger Things, final adventure at Piggly Wiggly. Look, again, it's a holiday week, too. You got Stranger Things coming out. Just pick up a couple, throw them in the freezer, and you're always going to have something great to have. Stranger Things, right now. $5.99 Stranger Things pizza on sale at Piggly Wiggly.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as we continue breaking down the Packers' victory over the Vikings yesterday. Don't look now, NFC North, but the Packers get a little bit of a playoff probability boost. NFL.com giving Green Bay a 78% chance to make the postseason after the victory over the Vikings. And I want to talk about Christian Watson because, Gabe, you were telling me he's been back now for a little over a month. And it feels like week by week his impact grows. 5 of 7 targets yesterday for 49 yards. He also played 49 snaps, which is 74% of the offensive snaps, and that was most of all wide receivers. For a very long time, we have thought that Christian Watson was a one-trick pony. He was very, very good at that one trick, but needless to say, you could only use him in one way. It is starting to feel like maybe you actually can use Christian Watson not just as that guy who runs the go route, who goes downfield, who tries to outrun the defensive backs, but maybe you can work him into some of these other routes and he can be a more viable weapon.
Well, I think there's a couple of different things working in his advantage here. Yes, and we saw it yesterday. It wasn't just go routes, deep crossing routes, stuff down the field for him. I mean, some of those quick outs, like, oh, hey, they're giving us 7-8 yards. Let's get it out to Christian Watson. And I don't think he's ever going to be somebody just because of his height. Like, he's not going to be a big yak guy where you get it to him near the line of scrimmage. He's got a little wiggle in him and make people miss, but he still has that big enough body where he can run some of those routes you're talking about. But I think his physicality is also up. to the point where you see him out there in a lot of these running formations as well, where they trust him as a blocker, and he ends up on the wing, kind of lined up right behind the tight end a lot of these plays, and that helps him as well, being in there for a lot of those play-action plays where they can take advantage of over the top. I mean, 17 catches in 24 targets for a guy who a lot of those balls are coming deep down the field, that's a heck of a rate. You love to see that for a guy that size, and the fact that they're mixing up the way that they're using him makes me happy that they've got him locked up for a pretty reasonable $13 million next year.
Joshy, do you think Matt LaFleur needs to be featuring Christian Watson more in the offense? Because it feels like when they get him the ball, he's making plays.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think some of it was due to Christian Watson being brought back on a limited basis and sort of controlling the snap counts. But I also think he's taken a step forward in terms of the type of guy he is. Chewy's talked about it tons, where like after a while you have to learn how to take hits and deal with not injuries but feeling hurt, and he seemed to have taken a step that way where he's not coming off the field all the time. And just he's
doing that 2 years ago,
yes,
where he left
everything.
With a head, hip, and foot in, off of one hit. They listed 3 things, and he's questionable to return.
Yeah, and like he's doing real wide receiver stuff. And not to say he wasn't a real wide receiver before, but he's like winning in the short and intermediate. He's winning deep. He's using his body to position himself. He's using his physical advantages. It felt like before, and it's not totally shocking based on where he came from and how often he was seeing the ball in college, that it took a while for him to develop, and now he's becoming sort of a guy that's more than just the one-trick pony he used to be.
And what they were asking him to do at North Dakota State, right? Because he wasn't going to be getting the ball a ton. He was going to be getting it in a very specific way.
Yes.
And those were the things that he could do early for the Packers. But now you're starting to see that development as he's gotten physically stronger. He's gotten more competitive at the top of routes, at the top of, and high pointing the football.
Yep.
Like learning how to use his body. He never had to learn how to use his body at North Dakota State. Like he was just faster than everybody else. At that level, that's just the way it was. But at this level, he's still faster than 98%. Yeah, 98% of the guys he's going to go up against. But in the NFL, it's just things are moving faster. It's a little bit quicker. So he's had to learn how do you use this big frame that I have to shield off defenders, to be able to go up and high point footballs instead of just outrun everyone. That outrun everyone's still in there if you need it for a 9 route, deep post route, those different types of things. But him developing as a wide receiver, we said it last week. On Friday, I asked Jason about it. I think he's the only receiver out of the ones that have been here for multiple years that is starting to show growth. Like he is showing growth. The guy that we've been looking for. Somebody step forward, take these opportunities, seize them. And he's the only one, I think, out of the group that has done this to this point.
So now when you see what you saw yesterday and you see what you have been seeing from him since his return, is it important for Matt LaFleur to sort of scheme for that? Look, it may change because obviously after Watson, Dobbs was next in the snap count, then Wicks. You're going to get Jaden Reed back within the next few weeks. I don't think he's supposed to be available. I know that he's back. He was practicing again on Friday. Is that right?
Technically, they could make him active if they wanted to.
For this Thursday's game.
For the Thursday game.
It's more likely.
I can't imagine. They're not actually practicing this week. It's all like walkthroughs because you're just trying to get your body right before the game on Thursday. I can't imagine that they would go, yeah, Jaden, you practiced once on Friday. Let's go ahead and throw you in a game on Thursday.
It would seem almost desperate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're not desperate.
Right. Which I don't think they need to be at this point.
No. So I think that the real target, I think, for him is Chicago. Is playing against the Bears.
So when Jaden Reed gets worked back into the offense, does that concern you that maybe Matt LaFleur then doesn't continue going towards Watson, giving him those opportunities?
No, because they play different positions.
100%. But there's only so many snaps to go around.
That's a funny phrase. They play different positions despite being
wide receivers. Yeah.
But your point is true. But yes.
You're asking them to do different things.
Yes.
And I think Christian Watson getting 7 targets in 20. You're going to be throwing the ball with Jordan Love more than 21 times, more than likely in those games.
But use the percentage. It's a third.
Yeah, but look, I don't think they're going to be throwing Christian Watson. I don't think they're going to be throwing anybody the ball a third of the time.
Yeah, the impressive guys who are getting tons of targets, 30% is the big dogs.
Yeah.
The absolute studs.
The Jamar Chases,
yes.
The typically Justin Jeffersons.
Yes.
Guys of that ilk. So Christian Watson getting 5 to 7 targets, I think sounds about right. And then, you work in Jaden Reed. Again, I think Joshy's with me here, especially after Matthew Golden gets healthier. I'm hoping this leads to less time for Romeo Doubs. Because I think the guys who are dynamic on the outside that need to have opportunities are Christian Watson, are Matthew Golden, and then once Jayden Reed comes back, Jayden's going to be taking a lot of those snaps out of the slot.
The more success that Christian Watson has in different ways, like we have seen from him over the recent weeks, the more pressure I think you have on Matt LaFleur to change up this offense, to not be so, we're going to throw the ball around. We're going to divvy it up. We're going to spread the ball around. I still think there is value in featuring a guy in the passing game, and I think Christian Watson can be that guy, but it is going to require Matt LaFleur to make that judgment call. It is going to require Matt LaFleur to say, this guy is better than most of the DBs we're going to face. We need to be featuring him in the offense, and I don't know if Matt LaFleur wants to do that, Gabe.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to. And I don't know if Christian Watson, while he has shown a ton of growth, I don't think he's shown the growth to the point where he should be getting the ball 30% of the time like a Jamar Chase. And again, trying to get him with Romeo Doubs, they were trying to get him seemingly when everything was, earlier this season. I mean, he was getting 6, 7, 8 targets a game. So taking some of those away and giving those 6, 7, 8 targets to Christian Watson, I think that's as much as you can be hoped to be featured as a wide receiver in this Packers offense.
Joshy, what does your optimum offense look like for the Packers? Give me run-pass ratio first, and then pass, break it up according to receiver. Who do you want to get what percentage of the targets when it comes to Jordan Love?
I think I would prefer, and I think Jordan Love is playing it a way that the Packers should be close to a 60-40 pass to run. Now, what Matt LaFleur desires is as close to 50-50 as humanly possible, but I think leaning more into Jordan Love is going to be better for them. I think with Tucker Kraft not there anymore, I'm fine splitting 3 ways, basically Golden, Reed when he's back, and Watson. Not just those being 33, 33, 33, but those guys all getting in the 5 to 7 range each game.
And then sprinkling some of the other guys in?
And then sprinkling in, you're going to get your Musgrave target, your RB targets on checkdowns, and then include Romeo Doubs in that. Like, to me, he's a 3-4 target a game guy. And I think they've had that process inverted for the majority of the season, where he has been the number one option, and they just keep feeding him the ball. He's a complementary piece. He's not a build your offense piece.
But I think, again, as we recognize, some of the injuries that they have dealt with at that position have contributed to why he has been sort of the featured option in the passing game. But again, the more growth you see from Christian Watson, you obviously, we've talked about this for years now, ever since he's been on the team, you recognize the uniqueness of his talent. You recognize the uniqueness of what he can bring to an offense. But as he continues to sprinkle in some of these other routes, as he continues to sprinkle in some of the intermediate stuff, I sit there and go, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about this guy being your featured wide receiver, your featured pass catcher going forward. 800-990-3776. Let's go out to the phone lines. Thomas in Chicago waiting patiently on the line. Thomas, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. I just want to bring up a play which I think is going to be the foreseeable future. Did you guys see, I believe it was the goal line. I believe it was on Emmanuel Wilson's first touchdown where Jordan Morgan just whiffs on the block and then the guy just takes out Emmanuel Wilson. And what do you guys just think, I mean, for like the whole like offensive line group, do you think it's going to affect, I don't know, like Jordan Morgan, whether it's this season or next, or like the clubhouse of like, I assume Belton is just going to take over right guard. Like, what do you guys think is the future with Belton at right guard or just the offensive line as a whole after?
I think Belton at right guard is the way to go because I think Belton's your right guard of the future. Like they were trying to get Jordan Morgan playing time because they know next year he's going to be your left tackle. But at the end of the day, Morgan's a left tackle. Like he's not a guard, and I think Belton's better at guard. And I think that you can with Anthony Belton playing right guard, I think that this group, the way it's currently constructed, that's your best chance at being successful.
800-990-3776. We're going to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lots of stuff to still get to. We've talked offensive line. We're talking Christian Watson right now. Do you want Christian Watson to be featured as the number one wide receiver for this offense? Or do you like the whole sprinkle it around, spread the ball around, work this guy in, work that guy in? We've got a lot of options. Let us know. 800-990-3776. Jason weighs in on the Carbless Talk and Text line. It pains me to say this as a Watson hater, but I am thrilled to believe I was wrong about him. I recognize his growth trajectory through 3 seasons. It's very similar to Devontae Adams, and that is beyond exciting. 800-990-3776. Josh?
I'm going to wince a little bit. I think that was a big move as somebody who was self-proclaimed a hater to say, hey, he's developed. But Devontae Adams comps, they're not the same players.
I think he's saying growth.
Yes.
Because Devontae, obviously,
the amount of growth
famously,
that both of them have seen.
Famously.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there were people who wanted Jeff Janis playing over Devontae Adams in Devontae's second season. So, yeah, I mean, vastly different players.
But the growth
different
you've seen from year 1 to year 3. What are we in year 3?
Even that. I mean, Devontae's growth was bigger because Devontae's a future Hall of Famer. Yeah. And I don't. While I like Christian Watson, all right, I don't want this to be used against me.
Hey,
I'm betting against him having a gold jacket at some point.
Let's crack 800 yards receiving in the season first. let's work on that.
Yep. Hey, I'm with you. Let's get to 800, maybe 900.
Yes.
Before we start comparing the future Hall of Fame.
All right, you guys are clowns. We're going to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on right after this.
That we have. It's back Black Friday at Ewald Automotive Group. It's their biggest event yet. Shop vehicles with up to $10,000 off or 0% financing or 0 down. They'll do whatever it takes to move all remaining 2025s. It's their biggest savings event of the year. The lowest interest rates, maximum trade-in values, huge selection. Black Friday, it's back, and it's going on right now at every Ewald location. To find the nearest one near you, to make it easy, just go to ewaldauto.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. On this show, it's always football season.
You won a road game after losing 2 games in kind of gut-wrenching fashion.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Yesterday was one of those games where bad teams and teams that aren't doing anything lose. They found a way to win, and I think that's something to build off of going into what Bill Belichick and everybody used to always say, the season really starts on Thanksgiving.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out The Best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This holiday season, celebrate where Milwaukee comes together. 3rd Street Market Hall. Whether you're planning a private party, a semi-private gathering, or a festive social night out, we've got the space, the flavor, and the fun to make it unforgettable. With incredible local food vendors, craft cocktails, and built-in entertainment like shuffleboard, games, and more, your group will have a holiday party they'll talk about all year long. Visit thirdstreetmarkethall.com for more information on booking your event.
Host an unforgettable outing and create special memories with your crew at a Milwaukee Bucks game. Groups of 10 or more can score ticket savings, block seating, and take part in special activities on game days. Showcase your team's talents on center court, score a high five from the pros, and more. There are great options for groups of all sizes. Start planning your ultimate Bucks basketball game day experience today at bucks.com/groups. That's bucks.com/groups.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I just figured if I got the yellow ones from Mexico, I could slip those in without her. Did you know the Viagra in Mexico is yellow?
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Wait, can you just paint it? You just drop it in a little food coloring?
You probably
and
could, like an egg. I'm going to try that.
Easter has a new meaning in the Chimera household.
On 94.5 ESPN.
More reaction rolling in here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Clinton says, Wilson proved himself too. It was a fun game to be at. And Ryan from Milwaukee says, give me more Matthew Golden and Christian Watson. Watson has shown growth, but Golden has special qualities. Some of his catches this year, his ability to adjust and bring in catches is special. Continuing to celebrate a victory Monday here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, a 23-6 win over the Vikings. And look, we're going to spend the second hour of the show talking a little bit about what this means in the division race. And I mentioned it earlier in the show, the odds for the Packers to make the playoff increase. There was a time, though, Gabe, during some of these losses where there were questions about the Packers' ability to make the playoffs, right? Because they had dropped to like 7th in the NFC, and you're sitting there hanging on to the edge of the cliff by your fingernails going, if you lose a few more games, this season is going to be a wash. And I actually heard, guys, for all the conversations about Matt LaFleur's play calling and should he continue to be the head coach of the Packers, I heard somebody this weekend talking about, and I think I sent it to y'all, that if they miss the playoffs, there's a real possibility that Matt LaFleur would be out of a job. Just because of the uncertainty with Ed policy and what he wants to do going forward. And I thought, wow, that's the first time I had heard that on the record by a reporter, I believe it was from The Athletic, say that if they miss the playoffs, this is a real possibility that he could be fired.
I think everyone's kind of realized that. I think Jason said that multiple times throughout the course of the year. Yeah, and that just goes back to them not getting, and when I'm saying them, LaFleur and Goody not getting contract extensions. If they miss the playoffs and their heads were going to roll. And by the way, that's still on the table. They still have to continue to play good football. We talked about Rob Demovsky yesterday, who we're going to be talking to a little bit later. But when he joined us on Green Bay Game Day, he said, hey, I think 2-1 should be the goal through this 3-game divisional stretch. You know, and if they got off to the right foot yesterday. But if they play poor football the next 2 games, chances are at 7-5-1, you'd be on the outside looking in of the postseason. So even though they've played better, they've won their last 2 games. Right now they're the 6th seed in the NFC. They're barely holding on to that 6th seed at 7-3-1 with the Niners. And by the way, the Lions are on the outside looking in at 7-4 in the NFC playoff picture. So while they have played better, they need to continue to stack these wins to try to chase down the Chicago Bears, A, to win the division, B, get those home playoff games, and then obviously secure a better spot in the postseason.
We'll continue talking about the win, obviously, as the show goes on, but I did want to also mention that Matt LaFleur there was a little bit of criticism after the game, and I think that, Joshy, maybe you feel this way as well, that you wished you would have seen Jordan Love air it out a little bit more. You wish you would have seen him lean on the passing game a little bit more. But Matt LaFleur basically said, you know, this was the game plan. We needed to win the game, and this is what we needed to do to win the game.
Yeah, I think I have a quote here that I would like to listen to. I'm just going to let him speak for himself.
He did a hell of a job, man.
did a great job. I thought Chris Brooks went in there and ran hard as well. It was kind of a weird game where our defense really had control of the football game. I've never called the same run so many times consecutively. It was like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but it was effective. And bottom line was, I just thought with the way our defense was playing, we just took the air out of the ball and said, go win it for us.
There was another quote he had later where he said, it was really hard for me not to be more aggressive, which feels like one of the most bald-faced lies he's ever told. He was a pig and bleep out there, calling run plays, play after play, first down, run play, first down, run play, third and short, run play. He lives for this. He was calling run plays in his sleep last night. He's shouting them out, speaking out loud. His wife had to wake him up and say the game's over. He was as happy as he could be. This is what he loves doing. This is what he shows he loves doing. Yeah, this time it called for it, the way the game went. Yeah, it was, but he's wanted to do this all year. This is what he lives for. This is his thing.
Couple of things. One, did you only play that soundbite because he referenced Chris Brooks?
Yes, of course.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. Chris Brooks, who had 29 snaps in the game yesterday, 44% of offensive snaps. Every time he was on the field, I was like, God bless America, Joshy.
Big win. Picked up.
Big win for Team Chris
Who else was going
Brooks.
to play? They were down a running back. Of course he was going to play a few snaps. Your boy only had 2.6 yards per carry, though. Don't see you touting him today about that.
Yeah, but Joshy's always been that he's a blocker. Right? That's always been your thing about Chris Brooks.
I don't know why they handed the ball 8 times.
Well, because, again, they were down a running back, so you had to mix it up a little bit there. Are you going to give Matt LaFleur a pass on this offense because it got the job done, or are you concerned that because he had success yesterday with that game plan, he's going to go back to that well going forward?
Can I do both? He did the right thing, but I'm concerned he's going to continue to learn the wrong lesson, and he's going to be too reliant on the run game in spots where you should probably abandon it quicker or have a different approach to games. There's no reason the Packers shouldn't have gone out and been able to get a lead against the Vikings and hold it in the first half. The game was close in the first half, and I don't think it needed to be. I think they could have moved the ball easier. Yes, Jordan's hurt. Yes, there's no Matthew Golden. What does that matter? You guys don't use him anyways. You've treated him as just any other guy. So, to me, the fact that there's injuries and the okay, what does that matter? How has that changed your approach at all? I'm worried that when the game calls for it, he's not going to be ready. They're not going to have the right game going, and it's going to sort of look like it has in other games where games are close.
800-990-3776. Keep getting us your reaction to the win yesterday. I saw some folks talking on the YouTube stream about Christian Watson as well. Sean weighing in saying Watson is this team's best wide receiver. Once Reed is back, teams will have to respect him as well. Could open up even more for him. He could be the key to catapulting this offense into the playoffs. High praise for Christian Watson and what he has done lately. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on right after this. This fall, take a trip to Jackpot Land at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for a share of $300,000 each month and entries into the December Jackpot Land drawings, where another $300,000 in cash and prizes is waiting to be won. Plus, your drawing entries from September, October, and November all count as well. It is only at Potawatomi. More information is available online. Must be 21 years old and a rewards member to play.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 43, backing up now just before Capitol Drive all the way down towards Keefe. We've got southbound 41 backed up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Hampton. The northbound side heavy from Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. The big delays are going to be on 94 at the moment. Westbound from 27th Street, pretty solid all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound is backing up from 84th Street to Hawley Road. And then watch out on the bypass. Westbound 894 out of the Mitchell interchange, going to be a bit tight out past Loomis. Traffic is brought to you by Safe Plow. When winter hits Wisconsin, Safe Plow keeps driveways and businesses clear with no-tolerance snow removal. They handle the blizzard so you can handle your business. Visit safeplow.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, increasing clouds, afternoon drizzle, a high of 50. Tonight, chance of rain or drizzle, patchy fog, a low of 43. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Crisp air, cozy sweaters, and a home that's actually ready for fall. Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Don't let your home be the only thing falling apart this season. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. Exterior Pros and Baths, because your house deserves a little sweater weather too.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Gabe Neitzel for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party. Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Straight ahead, got hit at the line, kept on turning, and got in. Green Bay in the end zone on their first drive of the day. Second half begins with a throw. That was the intention, and Micah Parsons had other plans. 9 sacks this year for Micah Parsons. Wilson again reaches for the goal line. Packers make him pay. 3 double-digit sacks, 5 straight seasons to start his career. Rashawn Gary gets there this time and forces an interception. Gary got his hand on it, and Isaiah McDuffie picked it off. McCarthy down the seam and too tall and picked off. Second interception for the Packers the last 2 drives. Evan Williams, second week in a row. He's got Parsons getting a running start from linebacker. He's picked up this time. Gary able to get there. Couldn't get him down, though. Now McCarthy takes another sack. Devontae Wyatt, second of the game. He's doubled his season total, and the Pack has picked up 5 of them.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Now live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Packers get the victory yesterday over the Minnesota Vikings, and there is an article out there talking about Matt LaFleur's record in the NFC North early in his career. In his first 6 seasons, 24-8, scorching, absolutely scorching, averaging just over 1 loss in the division per year, per season. But obviously, last year's 1-5 record was hanging over his head. You got to win the division. This is very simple, basic football, basic NFL. You got to do better than that in your division if you want to be a playoff team, if you want to make a deep run. So far, so good, Gabe. So far, so good. In the 2 games they have played in the division, Matt LaFleur's team is undefeated, but a big test ahead of them this week as they take on Detroit. And you were saying earlier in the show, maybe you get a slight advantage, to say nothing of the game, because I believe the Packers are underdogs in this game for the first time this season. To say nothing of that, maybe you get a slight advantage from the way that the Detroit game went down yesterday.
Yeah, they're playing in overtime. You know, trying to, you always hear, especially when you're playing that early game with Detroit. You know, it's one thing to play on Thursday, but every little bit helps trying to get your body ready, recovered. And when you're playing Thursday night, you have the extra 7 hours of when that game kicks off versus when it's going to kick off in Detroit coming up on Thursday with Thanksgiving. You always hear coaches talk about trying to get guys off their feet, trying to rest everyone as much as they humanly possibly can. And the defense playing as few snaps as they did yesterday for the Packers, the game being as short as it was for the Packers, I think is an advantage when the Lions game ultimately went into overtime. And their defense had to be out there a little bit longer after, you know, they were able to tie the game, force it, and go into overtime against the Giants at home yesterday. So it's a little thing, but I think those extra hits can certainly add up when you have such a quick turnaround, the quickest turnaround that anybody has all year.
I also think that this game did not exist in a vacuum. Obviously, the Packers recognize that they have this game coming up against the Lions on Thanksgiving, all eyeballs, right? It's the one game going on in the time slot. It's one of those things where everybody's going to be watching. Jordan Love is obviously dealing with a shoulder injury on his non-throwing arm. Josh Jacobs was out. Quay Walker was out. You have guys who are recovering from injury. You're trying to get your team healthy as you wrap up this final 6 games of the regular season. I think the game plan yesterday was exactly what it needed to be. But I got a lot of people, Gabe, reacting in the Carbless Talk and text line and on the YouTube stream, trying to remind us that the Vikings are basically a steaming pile of you-know-what.
Yeah, as far as some of the other teams that the Packers played. But they went out and they dominated. They did what they needed to do. I mean, how many other times has the Packers won by 17 points this year? Few and far between. Hasn't happened a ton for this squad. So, yeah, that team is bad. What are you supposed to do? You go out and dominate them. And that's
Which
exactly
they
what the
especially
Packers
did in the second half,
Yeah.
right? I mean, especially in the second half. Because you maybe looked at that halftime score and went, oh, no, this feels a little too tight. This feels a little too close for comfort. But in the second half, the defense in particular went out and dominated, and you got what you needed to get from the offense. And, oh, by the way, we mentioned very briefly the contributions from special teams. Obviously, McManus being healthy again, that seems to put that whole thing to bed as long as he maintains his health. And then the special teams play that really turned things around, really gave the Packers momentum in the second half.
Yeah, and LaFleur, I mentioned it, the Packers had 3 possessions in the first half. They scored on 2 of them. Had long drives on all 3 possessions. Vikings got a 4th possession. So that's why it kind of still felt close, because the Vikings were executing the game plan that's been successful against the Packers. Run the football, control the clock, and try to just shorten the game and muddy it all up. And the Packers, because of that turnover on special teams, were able to flip the game and really flip the script, because then they were able to build that double-digit lead. They were able to build the 2-score lead, and now the Vikings have to try to throw the football to work their way back into it because they don't want to shorten it. They want to have as many possessions as possible in that second half, which led to everything we saw with J.J. McCarthy.
Let's take a listen to the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers yesterday on the game plan to beat the Vikings.
The mindset always going into it is, like we say, winning the turnover battle. And I think we did that today. And then, like you said, you get into it and defense is balling like that, coming up with stop after stop. That mindset is just keep taking care of the ball, don't make mistakes, and, just keep hammering away at it and keep putting together some good drives. And we did that.
How concerned are you, Gabe, about Jordan Love's shoulder? How concerned are you about that potentially limiting him and the offense going forward?
I don't think it's going to limit them when they need him to throw the football. But when you can protect him, like you could yesterday, by running the ball as much as they possibly could, especially against a front that likes to muddy up and try to disguise different pressures, and you've had trouble diagnosing those pressures as an offensive line unit all season long, and there have been free rushers at times. Yeah, you take the air out of football yesterday. You try to give him a little bit more time, less hits for him on that left shoulder, so it's not bothering him as much. But if he needs to get in a shootout against the Lions on Thursday, I'm not that concerned. But again, there is still a risk. Like, there's still a concern there. He's got a bad shoulder injury that he's playing through, and it can get worse to the point where he's unable to play, and that's not where you want to be either. So when you can limit those risks, you limit the risks the way that you did yesterday, so then when you play a tighter game potentially on Thursday against the Lions, he's still able to be out there and be as good as he possibly can be.
Let's see, comments coming in on the YouTube stream. Matthew weighing in saying that turnover was the breaking point, talking about special teams. And we did address earlier in the show how it was the most, I don't know if you want to say complete, but from a complementary football standpoint, where you got significant contributions from every element, from the defense, from the offense, and from the defense, special teams, it did feel like that's the recipe. Again, we're not reinventing the wheel here. This is football 101. But if you can have a game like that where you at the end of the day are going, everybody came to play, everybody contributed in meaningful ways, it does feel significant. Pro Football Focus says the Packers only allowed 14 pressures in that game. To your point about Jordan sort of being in a protected space, being in a little bit of a bubble there, and not having to worry so much about re-injuring.
Wait, 14 pressures yesterday?
Only allowed 14 pressures.
That's a lot when you only throw the ball 21 times.
Well,
hey, you're getting
that
pressured.
Certainly is.
You're getting pressured 2 out of every 3. That's not great. That's why you run the football.
Let me take a look at those numbers again from Pro Football Focus. It's possible I maybe got them wrong, but yeah, I wrote down that the Packers only allowed 14 pressures, and to your point, 21. How many passing plays did they have?
They had 23 passing plays because Jordan got sacked on 1, Malik threw 1 at the end of the game, and then then Jordan had 21 attempts.
I'll take a look at that again.
Could that be the times they brought like extra men in the pass play versus like actually getting Jordan Love certainly was under pressure a few times, and sometimes they were. I mean, there was times they were bringing like 5-6 people.
Yeah.
And the Packers held up pretty well. Chris Brooks, shout out to him.
Emmanuel Wilson had a couple nice blitz pickups yesterday, but I noticed that you, president of the Chris Brooks fan club, haven't really brought those up today, Joshy. Why are you being quiet about Emmanuel Wilson's blitz pickup ability when you're supposed to be Mr. Running Backs can be good blockers? What are you covering up when it comes to Emmanuel Wilson?
I never said that. I said Chris Brooks is good and we should be using him more, which we have, and it worked. Wins, dubs. Chris Brooks leads to wins.
I'll have to look at that because I'm very interested in that. Everything I'm reading is talking about it in a complimentary fashion as far as the offensive line went. Packers offense only gave up 14 pressures, a low number in the context of an NFL game, but I do think it is worth what you're saying, worth looking at. When you only throw the ball 23 times, 14 pressures does feel like a significant percentage.
Yeah, and especially with Jordan. I mean, I don't think Malik got pressured because the one that he had was a little play-action boot, and there was really nobody around him. He just flipped it out there. So if Jordan Love's getting pressured 2 out of every 3, that's bad. That's bad. That's not very good.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as we continue to dive into those numbers, try to get that figured out. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on right after this. Stick around.
It is Victor Monday. It's brought to you by Callan. From kitchen and bathroom remodels to Infinity by Marvin fiberglass replacement windows, Callan makes your home feel like a win. Request your consultation today at callcallan.com. Victory Monday also brought to you by National Liquor Mart, 16th and National in Milwaukee. Stock up on the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 to 9 daily. Your game day headquarters all season long. And, of course, Victory Monday brought to us by our friends at Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Great, delicious brands like Palermo's, Connie's, Urban Pie, Screamin' Sicilian. Palermo's has your game day covered. They've also got some deals on Stranger Things pizzas going on right now. With that coming out soon, find Palermo's in your favorite local grocer's freezer.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 41, backing up from Appleton Avenue down towards Capitol Drive. Northbound between North Avenue and Burleigh is going to be a bit tight. Westbound 94, we've got backups from 27th Street to Hawley Road. Eastbound from about 76th Street to Hawley Road. And then on 94 northbound, just north of between Highway 11 and Highway 20, we got the right lane blocked with a broken down vehicle. So just watch out for some delays in that area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, afternoon drizzle, a high of 50. Tonight, chance for rain or drizzle, patchy fog, a low of 43. Weather is brought to you by the Bartolotta Restaurants, offering the perfect holiday gift, a memorable experience with the Bartolotta gift card. Purchase yours at bartolottas.com, and happy holidays, Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO-certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro. Like it never even happened.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What's a click below dumb?
You. No.
Whoa. That's fine.
Whoa.
No, that's what I was getting
Good
at.
pop. Good pop.
I know.
Unnecessary.
I'm not dumb. I'm one click below dumb. We need to find out what that word is.
Don't you want to be one click above dumb?
Oh, that's right. I'm one click above.
On 94.5 ESPN.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. This month, BetterHelp is encouraging everyone to reach out, check on your friends, reconnect with your loved ones, and remind people in your life that you're there for them. And maybe you need some support as well. If that's the case, BetterHelp therapists can help you. They work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the United States. They do this initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. It's just a short questionnaire. It'll help identify your needs and your preferences. And then they let their 12 years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate get you to the right therapist. And if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recommendations. They got a 4.9 out of 5, guys, on the App Store when it comes to reviews. That's pretty dang good. So if you find yourself in a situation where life is challenging, you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, and you're looking for help, BetterHelp can help. Our clients get 10% off their first month by hitting pound 250. That's pound 250 and the keyword timeout. You just have to say it when you're prompted. That'll give you 10% off and will start you on your journey to better help with BetterHelp. Reaction continues rolling into the Packers' win over the Vikings. Huge team win, T in Pewaukee says. I would rather use Chris Brooks as a second or third back for a breather, but not on the first couple of drives of the game. Because McFly could figure that out. I guess he's saying that's a simplistic offense or something like that. Either way, Terry, very happy with the victory. We will continue talking about what this means for the division race and what the Packers need to do down the stretch here to make sure to keep putting separation between themselves and the other teams. But I do think that after we talk to Rob Demovsky, I want to talk about whether or not this type of victory where you run the ball effectively, not necessarily with Emmanuel Wilson. Obviously, hopefully Josh Jacobs is back out there able to move the chains. But if Jordan Love continues to deal with this shoulder injury, if you can win with defense and a run game deep into the season, because conventional wisdom, Gabe, says that in the NFC North, when it's going to get cold and blustery and you can't necessarily rely on a passing game, running the ball and having a stout defense does feel like a recipe for success. But can you do that in 2025?
Yeah, I think you still can do it in 2025. And the Packers were able to do it pretty successly last year. The Ravens were able to do it pretty successfully a year ago, where they mixed the run game of Derrick Henry and the pass game of Lamar very, very well. I think that's something you still can do. Now, ultimately, you still need Jordan to be able to go out there and make plays. Like, no matter how well you run the football, you still need your quarterback to go out there and be able to sling it. If just need an example, yesterday, if you paid attention at all to the Colts and Chiefs game, Daniel Jones suddenly when he has to do things because the run game is shut down and teams are going, nope, you're not going to beat us, then you have to be able to go out there and be successful. But the way teams have been playing the Packers, early in the season it was, oh, Josh Jacobs isn't going to beat us. Oh, we don't need to have the extra man in the box to slow down that run game. If you can start running the ball efficiently against those light boxes, that's what's also going to open up a lot more things because they'll finally have to bring down that eighth defender into the box, and that opens up things for Jordan Love in the passing game.
Look, if there is anybody out there who is hesitant to enjoy this victory, and we have seen a little bit of that in the Carbless Talk and Text line and on the YouTube stream, it's because of how bad they think the Vikings are. And they're not sure if it can be a good indicator of the Packers' ability to win against better teams, whether that's Detroit or whether that's the Ravens or whether that's the Broncos who are still on the Packers' schedule.
Other than the Rams, I don't know if there's a team in the NFC I can say that they're definitively better than the Green Bay Packers right now. It's all a muddled mess across the NFL. Like, nobody's playing particularly well. Nobody's playing great. You have a lot of these ugly games happening week in and week out. Every once in a while, you see somebody blowing somebody out. The Rams did it last night to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it is a muddled mess across the NFL right now. And in the NFC, I think I can only say one team is definitively better than the Green Bay Packers.
And we're watching highlights right now up on Get Up on the televisions above us of the win last night by the Cowboys over the Eagles. To your point, so much parity in the NFC. So again, I like the Vikings game yesterday being a get-right game. I like that they played complementary football. I like that Jordan Love, dealing with an injury that could have really hampered this offense, still found a way to get it done. And I like that Matt LaFleur let the game come to him, didn't overthink it, and was able to step on the throat of his opponent in the second half particularly and get the victory at home. 800-990-3776. Still taking your reaction all morning long. We have to take a break because we've got Rob Demovsky coming up next. We always like to get the insight from inside the locker room at 12:65. He's going to bring that to us right after this.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. They've got a great team over there that's always going to be able to help you and your business out. So experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still seeing some delays out there on 94 heading westbound as you're making your way from about 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road, eastbound from 84th to Hawley. We've got southbound 41 backing up from Silver Spring down past Hampton, and the northbound side's backing up from just before North Avenue all the way up past Burleigh. Another quick tap of the brakes heading up towards Capitol Drive. And we had that earlier disabled vehicle between 11 and 20 in northbound 94 in Racine County. Looks like they were able to clear that, so I think we're in good shape in that neck of the woods. Traffic is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Today's forecast, crisp fall skies and a winning shine. Get your first wash free at TsunamiExpress.com just in time for game day. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, afternoon drizzle, a high of 50. Tonight, chance of rain or drizzle, patchy fog, a low of 43. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Play over 2,000 courses, including that famous one with the green jackets. Book your bay at wisconsinindorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Is back pain slowing you down? When it comes to spine care, you need specialized expertise. At the OAW Spine Center, their orthopedic care specialists provide the highest level of care for everything from herniated discs to spinal fusion. They start with the most conservative, non-surgical treatments like physical therapy and injections. If surgery is needed, minimally invasive procedures at the OAW Spine Center will get you back on your feet faster. With a focus on treating the source of the problem, they take a comprehensive, active approach to spine health, getting you back to the life you love. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com. That's OAWSpineCenter.com.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
St. Nick meets St. Kate. The holidays are in full swing at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, where every celebration shines a little brighter. Browse unique gifts at the holiday marketplace, gather for unforgettable Christmas Eve and Christmas Day dining, and of course, don't miss Brunch with Santa, a family favorite filled with joy, treats, and holiday magic. Celebrate the season at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Visit stkatearts.com/holidays for all the details.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Josh, I love the intros, but man, that's last year's intro.
ESPN's #1 source for green and gold information.
Once again, Rob.
Cracking. He's cracking the whip.
We did this last time. You have to speak on the show for me to give you an intro.
You know what? You're right.
Our most musically inclined and bald guest.
I feel like a jerk. I really do. Like that was terrible.
It's Rob Demovsky on Jen, Game, and Chewy.
I see Rob fidgeting back there on the stream, on the YouTube stream. We got him? He's good?
He's going to be on the stream but talking to us over the phone.
All right. That's kind of fun. 2025. Make it work. Rob Demovsky joining Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning as we continue celebrating a Packers victory yesterday, 23-6 over the Vikings. I know the people who were at the stadium yesterday have been telling us it was a great scene, it was a great game, and it was a great win. Rob, how should fans view the victory over the Vikings when we've talked about the numbers this morning? J.J. McCarthy, one of the worst starters ever, starting out his career as one of the worst to ever be under center. You could still be happy about the Packers and the way that they performed on Sunday, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, you can. Did you guys have Wilde on today? Do you have it? Does he
no. Wilde is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for us. So we have not talked to Wilde.
Well, good. All right. Good.
Why, are you stealing material? Is that what's going on? Like, what are you worried about?
I am. I'm going to steal his material from our TV show last night on WBAY. We do a little bit of a roundtable. It's for those not in the Green Bay market. It's hosted by Chris Roth on Channel 2. It's Jason, myself, Bill Huber, and Dave Schrader, the sports director from WBAY. And his first topic of conversation on the show was this Jeff Hafley or J.J. McCarthy? You know, which one was more responsible for this? And Wilde he never takes a stand on anything, and he went full J.J. McCarthy on this. So, I mean, look, you can feel great about it, but they're not playing J.J. McCarthy next week, this coming week in Detroit. They certainly wouldn't be playing J.J. McCarthy if they played the Rams in the playoffs after what we watched last night. It's a good question, but I do think this was as much J.J. McCarthy's ineptness as it was the Packers. But so what, right? Like, it still counts the same.
Yeah, still a win, and you feel good going into Detroit for that. What did you make of Emmanuel Wilson and the Packers just basically saying, because of J.J. McCarthy, we're taking the air out of the football and we're not going to put Jordan Love and his separated left shoulder at any sort of risk?
Yeah, except the hardest part for him was to hand it off so many times, and he had to do it with his other arm, which was, risky.
The backhand handoff, because it's not a secure way to hand off the ball, Rob.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's like taking a 9-iron and turning it around and trying to hit left-handed out from behind a tree, punch out sideways. But the thing about, and I think I can't remember if I told you this or we talked about this on one of the other shows, Emmanuel Wilson had 502 yards rushing last year. It's not like he had nothing. 502 yards was pretty darn good. It just got lost in the shadow of Josh Jacobs' 1,300-yard, 15-touchdown season. So I guess I'm not totally surprised by this. There were a few things about the running game that surprised me. One, that it was a grinded out 107 yards or whatever it was. They didn't have a run longer than 13 yards. Wilson did not. But we also saw a change on the offensive line, Gabe, with Anthony Belton. It was a rotation at right guard with Jordan Morgan the first couple of series, and then the rest of the game, it was Anthony Belton all the way. I know they'll say, oh, Jordan Morgan didn't get benched, because they never use that word, but he got benched. And Anthony Belton provides a little bit more physicality in the run game, and at least did last night.
Are they a better team if Belton takes all of the snaps when healthy at right guard?
Sure seems like it, I would say. I mean, the Jordan Morgan right guard experiment should be over. They should let him be the backup left tackle for the rest of this year, and then when they don't sign Rasheed Walker, let him compete for the starting left tackle job next year.
We were talking earlier, Rob, speaking of the offensive line, and I was telling Gabe that I was reading online. Pro Football Focus said the Packers only allowed 14 pressures, and Gabe goes, but they only had 21 passes. So how would you assess the pressure, if you will, that Jordan Love was under yesterday?
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen that. That is interesting.
Because again, the way it was structured in the article I was reading was they only allowed 14 pressures, and as Gabe mentioned, in the context of a normal NFL game, that would be good. But they only threw the ball 20 plus times.
If you're under pressure 2 out of every 3 times, that quarterback is, I believe, the technical term, running for his life.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I hadn't seen that. I don't. That must be behind the Pro Football Focus paywall. I don't have that. They don't have that subscription. But everybody defines pressures a little different, Jen. But that's obviously not ideal. They did so little in the passing game yesterday, other than a few throws to Christian Watson, that I guess I didn't really pay that close attention to it. I haven't rewatched the game yet. But I'm not overly concerned about it at this point.
So now when we kind of going forward to this Lions game, how much of an advantage is it for the Packers to have as short of a game as they did yesterday, Rob? I mean, that game was over so fast.
Yeah.
And then the Lions end up playing overtime against the Giants. Is that an advantage when you have the quickest turnaround of the NFL season playing at noon on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I talked to somebody last week about this whole Thanksgiving thing, and we were just talking about NFL scheduling, and this person said to me that they think the Lions, Cowboys, and whoever hosts the night game should always have to play on the road before Thanksgiving, just to try to even it out a little bit. And obviously the Lions were at home, right, yesterday? So,
Lions were at home. Cowboys were at home.
Cowboys were at home. I don't even know who the night game is. But, yeah, so that obviously is not in play this week. However, it is an interesting point you make. And, how many plays did the Vikings run on offense? Like less than, I posted the snap counts earlier. I think it was like 44
offensive plays.
Yeah. So the defense, the Packers defense was not taxed overly, greatly. 65, I think, offensive plays for the Packers, but like you said, so much running that your skill position guys didn't take a lot of hits. Obviously they're blocking on run plays all the time. But yeah, I think, and you came out of this game with one, sort of significant concerning injury, and that's Keyshawn Nixon. And, Matt LaFleur said yesterday that, he didn't think it's long term, but this week could be a concern. I mean, every stinger is different. He had a stinger in the game. Quay Walker had a stinger in the game the previous week and did not play this week. So, I mean, yeah, there's great concern there. I mean, we're one snap away, or one injury away from seeing Bo Melton play cornerback, which, quite frankly, we talked so much about it, we might as well see it for a little bit. But I'm sure Packers fans.
Let's put him out there. He's played so many offensive snaps at this point. Yeah. Let's see him play defense.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Packers fans, would rather that not happen, especially against the Lions offense. But no, I do think, I do think that's I don't want to say advantage for the Packers because I don't think there's any advantage to playing on the road on Thanksgiving on a short week, but it can't hurt.
Rob Demovsky hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as he does each and every Monday during the season. Okay, we were talking about this very briefly before we got on with you. This idea that if they had to be a run-first team, which Joshy thinks that Matt LaFleur would prefer to be for whatever reason, and a defensive-minded team, is that a recipe for success, particularly in the playoffs? Or do you still need to be able to throw the ball with efficiency and with accuracy?
I think it just depends on who you're playing, Jen. I don't think it's necessarily, this is built for the playoffs or it's not built for the playoffs. It's the matchup, right? Like, what kind of matchup are you getting? If you're playing the Rams and you can get a lead, it's a great recipe because, maybe you take, well, I guess you don't want them throwing the ball either, but make them play from behind a little bit. Now I think about the Rams, watching them a little bit last night. How do you beat them? But I guess if you want to slow the game down, it's a possible recipe for success in a playoff. I do think that it shows, maybe this team can win different ways, which sometimes you have to do in the playoffs. And I thought about this, as Zane Anderson was shoving the guy into the ball and recovering the fumble. Like, it's not just the Packers special teams that screw up all the time. Maybe you make a special teams play and it flips the game your way, and they finally did for a change. So I don't think there's necessarily one way to win in the playoffs. The thing I thought was encouraging, I guess, is that you won without, one of your best offensive players, and that's Josh Jacobs. So, and they're obviously without one of their other best offensive players for the rest of the year with Tucker Kraft. So finding ways to win, I think, is important. I don't know that there's anybody in the NFC that scares you, but I also think that they can lose to just about any of these teams too.
How much growth have you seen out of Christian Watson in the 5 games he's played this year?
Yeah, I mean, 2 things, Gabe. One, like, he's catching the ball really well. And I know he may have been unfairly labeled as a drop guy because he had some problems early, but that was his reputation coming out of college. And 2, I mean, and just most importantly, he's just held up. He's durable. He's held up. He's played every position on the field. He's been in the slot. He's been outside. He's been in motion. So yeah, I just think, try to find a way to get him the ball a little bit more. Yesterday, obviously, we talked about how their game plan was different, but I do think he's becoming the go-to guy, maybe even a little bit more than Romeo Doubs.
So if you had to do your perfect offense, and we've talked a little bit about Watson this morning and just how the growth you have seen from him as a talent, how would you structure that passing offense? Would you be giving Watson the bulk of the targets? Would it then go to Jaden Reed? Like, how do you want to see it shake out? Because Joshy said last week he's over the Romeo Doubs experiment.
Yeah, I think I would go to Romeo Doubs on 3rd down. If it's 3rd and 6 and you need to run a 7-yard slant, like that, Romeo Doubs is your guy, and I would feed him all the time on that. I would try to get Christian Watson as involved as possible. And then let's see what Jaden Reed can give you when he comes back. I don't think he's going to play this week. But I think next week against Chicago or even Denver possibly at the latest would be the time we see him coming back. And that could be a game changer. I mean, it really could because we know, I mean, he's their leading receiver the last couple of years. So, it'll be really interesting to see how that happens. But at this point, Christian Watson seems to be the guy.
I know it wasn't intended as such. Were you by Micah Parsons in the locker room when he was talking yesterday? Did you hear what he had to say?
I camped out there, gave it, and this is one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me in 29 years covering the game. I talked to one person after the game, and it was him. I went over there right away, and there was a huge gathering, and I thought, well, I can't leave now because if I leave, I'm going to lose my spot. And he had to do a rehab treatment thing, and he took the whole locker room. So I talked to one guy. I was front and center. So if I don't remember what he said, then I'm in real trouble. Yeah, so it's a long way of answering your question. Yes, and I think I know where you're going. with the 10 sack thing. Is that where you're going? So
yeah, he talked about 10 sacks and how that's the baseline for him. Like, he's excited that he got 10 sacks, minimum. But he looks at it as being that's the minimum, and that's like 1,000 yards for him. And him and CeeDee Lamb used to have. I know it's not intended. But it kind of seems like a shot at somebody like Rashawn Gary, who's getting paid a lot of money and has never had a 10-sack season.
Well, and did you see, hopefully you follow him because it's an entertaining follow, his brother Terrence Parsons on Twitter. Someone put up that it's the first time in 6 years that they've had a double-digit sack guy, and he just couldn't believe. He was like, that's crazy. His brother was just and he even used the laughing my off emoji, like making fun of the Packers. And yeah, whether intentional or not, that's making fun of Rashawn Gary. And I mean, the facts are the facts, right? He's never had a 10-sack season. That's just, and they're paying him a lot of money. It goes into the whole thing we talked about on the pregame show with he's never been a high snap guy. Well, he's never been a high sack guy either, apparently.
Seems like a bad combination. Seems like a poor combination.
Especially one that you're drafted in the first round and paying, $20-some million.
Rob, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Your cell phone and stream combination worked out just fine today, so we appreciate you making it work.
We'll try to get this figured out.
Good stuff, Rob. We'll talk to you again soon.
It's always good to see your beautiful face on the stream, bud.
He just hung up on us. I saw him do it on the stream.
That's fair. It is a Victory Monday. It's brought to you by National Liquor Mart, 16th and National in Milwaukee. Stock up on the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 to 9 daily. Your game day headquarters all season long. Victory Monday also brought to you by Callan, from kitchen and bathroom remodels to Infinity by Marvin. Fiberglass replacement windows. Callan makes your home feel like a win. Request your consultation today. Call Callan.com. And Victory Monday brought to you by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza with delicious brands like Palermo's, Connie's, Urban Pie, and Screamin' Sicilian. Palermo's has your game day covered. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Maybe one of Jordan Love's best games as a Green Bay Packer. I feel encouraged by what we saw.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Obviously, still a lot of things that need to get better, but from an offensive standpoint, from Jordan Love in particular, I thought had just an absolutely fantastic game.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom designs that let everyone know who you're rooting for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing stacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN, 1 free year of Perplexity Pro, and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now in the Venmo app. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard.
Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
The Bucks dropped their fourth straight game, falling 129-116 to the red-hot Detroit Pistons at Pfizer Forum on Saturday night. Giannis Antetokounmpo sat out again with an adductor strain, and Milwaukee couldn't keep pace despite Ryan Rollins 24 points and Bobby Portis 18. With the loss, the Bucks fell below 500 for the first time this season. Here's head coach Doc Rivers after the game.
Yeah, I thought it was a good lesson, for not only just him. I was disappointed at halftime, but I thought the damage had been done. I thought their physicality completely took us out of our offense tonight.
The Bucks will look to bounce back on Monday night against the Portland Trail Blazers.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
Sharon needed legal help.
she needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's Black Friday sale starts this Friday at 6 a.m. Now's your chance to save up to 50% or more on Friday-only super deals store-wide while supplies last. Like 55% off select Nesco covered cake pans, $7.99. Over half off select 2-packs of Moultrie trail cams. Zero exposure coats for the whole family are half price. And select dog beds are just $9.99 while supplies last. Don't miss your chance to save up to 50% or more during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Black Friday sale starting at 6 a.m.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work. Chewy, am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. This month, BetterHelp is encouraging everyone to reach out, check in on your friends, reconnect with loved ones, and remind the people in your life that you are there. And if you find yourself struggling, things are getting challenging, feeling stuck, BetterHelp can help. Our listeners get 10% off their first month. Just call pound 250. Say the keyword timeout. That's pound 250 with the keyword timeout because we are all better with help. Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, we were just talking with Rob Demovsky, and we mentioned that J.J. McCarthy is having one of his worst starter seasons ever. And I got a little pushback on the YouTube stream. Someone said, well, that feels extreme. Joshy, can you cue up a little music for us here? I just want to give you a little insight as to how bad J.J. McCarthy has been since he took over as starter for the Vikings. He's thrown an interception in each of his first 6 career games, extending his own Vikings record and tying Deshaun Kaiser for third longest streak
Packers
by
legend.
Any quarterback in the last 20 seasons. Gabe, you got anything to add to this?
When eliminating dropbacks with quick pressures under 2.5 seconds, J.J. McCarthy's performance against the Packers this week ranked 344th out of 346 quarterback performances this year in EPA per dropback.
Feels good, feels good. 71 quarterbacks have made their first 6 career starts in the last 10 seasons. McCarthy ranks near the bottom of that group in virtually every important quarterback category. I said 71, right? He ranks 66th in passing yards. He ranks 67th in completion percentage. He ranks 67th in total QBR. He ranks 69th in interceptions.
Are we done? Because I got one more.
Is this the one?
EPA per dropback?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. J.J. McCarthy now ranks 851st out of 852 in EPA per dropback among qualified passers since 2000 per True Media. The only player below McCarthy, so who would be 852 on that list?
I was very curious.
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell, very good quarterback.
Got paid.
So if you were watching J.J. McCarthy yesterday, and you said this is one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen, you'd be accurate. You weren't exaggerating.
The statistics back it up. But anyway, for people who were like, it wasn't that bad, it really was. It was really that bad.
Probably worse.
And if you're looking long-term, gang, long-term, that's the Vikings quarterback for the foreseeable future.
They could always Josh Rosen him.
That's true. They certainly could. Wilde and Tausch will continue breaking down the victory. Packers over the Vikings. It's a victory Monday on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
Southbound on 43 and northbound, both looking really good right now. We've got main delays basically on 94 in either direction from about 35th Street to